G now on blue side. Going for the Lucian and the Nico ban, already changing it up. This means that some combination of Pantheon and Trundle are going to be getting through this ban phase. Getting rid of the Azir, very interesting to me, considering that not only have JDG not been willing to first pick it, but it also is a comfort champion for Karis. So, continuing to see how this draft ends up panning out. My eyes immediately do have to go towards that Pantheon, and if that champion doesn't make it through, then Nefiri, in my mind, for these two junglers is really important.
Alright, well, Trundle will be the first domino to fall, and I believe that means that Team WE will be... okay, they'll take out the Vi instead. An interesting choice, but a solid one nonetheless, so it might just be a Pantheon Nefiri handshake. Probably won't see the Nefiri come out right away, but probably on pick 3.
My God, I can't believe we just let Pantheon get through. So WE needs
crazy, right?
There's a reason this champion is the most banned champion on the patch right now in LPL. Before today was 2 and 32 in pick ban. The 2 games that it got were wins. So WE immediately answering with a Senna Braum. Not a lot of pressure between these two. Obviously, Senna will give you some scaling and Braum can help, but I think without seeing the rest of the draft, I'm a little perplexed as to this option. JDG are going to go for yet another pairing that is very dominant in the 2v2 with this Corki and Rel.
All right, Alk. I honestly think that this draft might actually be cooked. We're going to see the Cassante get locked in. I need you to convince me that it's not.
I can't tell you that. Not in good faith. I don't know if this is cooked yet. I'm really sad we didn't get to see the Jarvan and Annie one. I was kind of so hoping that we could get an LPL moderators meme in here, but this one could be cooked as well. We'll have to see. Second phase of draft. Have to think that there's going to be a Jax ban coming on through, maybe even a Renekton, although Renekton into Braum and this Cassante later on in the game will be a bit tough. There is less dive in the game, however, with M-Pesa and this Rumble gone.
If I'm JDG, I think I'm going to try and focus down Monki here. Take away some of his priority picks. Nocturne getting taken off again. We had mentioned him earlier. Just a generally good champion to take out. The Jax going to also get banned away, so Xiaoxu not going to be able to have that option. And now we're starting to look for like slim pickings here for Monki. You know, this Viego is on the table. And, you know, if it doesn't get banned, you might have... You would need to pair it with something strong in the mid lane to have that burst damage to start the resets. I don't know if this is the comp for it, so I don't really think it's pickable.
You could play Nefiri here. I think you have a Senna.
We'll leave it up.
Perfectly reasonable. Instead, they're going to be banning the Rise away from Karis. I think that's fine. You're thinking about mid lane champions that are still up and available. Orianna is one of them that WE could try to snatch up, and especially when you're talking about playing around different players. Definitely gives them some options to kind of control the map. You have a Senna as well. Instead, they're going to go for the Poppy here, utilizing that, utilizing the fact that now you just have Snap engage with Monki.
All right, so if you're Team WE, because JDG, they go and they pick away the Orianna. I thought the Orianna would be good for WE if it was left around on the final rotation. It's got a fair amount of damage and should provide enough in team fights. But now that it'll go to JDG, I think that it's okay. I think it's just better as a takeaway. You mentioned that Renekton earlier. It's going to be tough for him to play, but we'll see if they end up locking it in. For Team WE, I don't know what they can pick that gives them any damage.
I really hate Renekton here. Renekton's incredibly biffed versus a Poppy and eventually the Braum later on. It's going to be tough to play this game out. JDG can play a bit of a longer map when you think about having this Renekton. You're going to have this Pantheon as well, utilizing that Grand Starfall to make some of these lanes uncomfortable. WE, they're opting for more team fight, a slower fight, but I think the damage isn't quite there. From the builds that we've been seeing from Victors so far in the LPL, it has been mostly playing around this Rod of Ages, maybe a little bit more of like the tanky ones with Bloodletter's Curse. I don't think you're going to have enough damage in this composition past the 20-minute mark, and once that happens, you're going to be dealing with an Orianna who controls space incredibly well. You're going to be having a Rel who, yes, can be stopped by this Poppy, but you can't stop everything as Monki, especially with how aggressive he's been playing.
And this time around for JDG, plenty of damage to be able to cut through these three tanky champions. It's a weird mirror of last game almost, where it feels like Team WE, their carries are much worse for what they're doing early on, and JDG, their champions, are much better for the game plan that they wanted to accomplish. Off battery, I think that Team WE is going to have to do something in this final game that we have not seen them do really the entire year. Not fight for no reason. They will lose if they do that early.
Yes. Could be a reason to give Senna more stacks early, potentially, if they go for a fight. This competition screams to me, Monki is carrying us across the finish line. Because I am now a Poppy that has a Senna behind her back. You're going to also have this Victor to be able to set up around you as well. The Braum, I think, could be really, really impactful. But these are not... The Poppy more so feels like a Monki champion in particular. But Vampire Braum is not the way that I want to see him. He is much better on engage. And Braum very rarely can do that. You can do like a flash. You could try to use your ult and the Winter's Bite. But we'll have to see. We're going here for game number 3. JDG versus WE, a decider for who gets their first win of split number 3. There are a lot of WE fans. Damn.
After that last game, how couldn't you be excited?
Did they watch the first game? Probably not.
That's why I said after the second game. Because that first game was tough. They were hopefully in the concession stands, grabbing some food. Maybe the lines were a little long. I don't think the lines were long, bro. It was a tough one. All right. It's like JDG. I'm going to try to get bush control here. It is just so tough against the Braum. But it does take a while for Senna's autos to wind up. So even if you get marked, you do have opportunity. You have a little bit of time to try to get away.
That's tough, though. Even just getting tagged by the Winter's Bite,
it hurts.
That's a chunk of your HP very early on. So Peyz having to start this lane off 60% HP. A good start here for WE. Something that we have to track in this game once Shun has his ultimate and as the lane assignments start to get a little different here. Watching Karis on a side lane, that has been his biggest weakness alongside his laning sometimes. And if JDG can find opportune picks, that could be a situation that puts them in an advantage. Both junglers starting on the top side of the map, going down. And honestly, it could be just up to Monki to protect his lanes. As long as he's covering, you can cut Shun out of this game very early on.
Yeah, if you can do that, you can just kind of shorten the window that Pantheon's effectiveness is at its peak, right? That early game, as we all know, it's very, very domineering as Wink is going to flash in those snap engages that you were talking about. Wink is now going to get rooted and then stunned up and traded back on just a little bit. Stay in, we'll pick up a couple stacks.
These trades are really good for Taeyoon. Not only because he's already ran through both of his pots, but he's running for biscuits as well, just for the laning phase. And because of fleet footwork, plus the healing that's in his kit, you can actually make these trades a lot better for Taeyoon and Vampire. Monki already on the bottom side of the map, going to go towards his blue buff after this Gromp. Shun's already finishing off what looks to be his 6th camp. So you need to be very careful as Taeyoon and Vampire. If they over-aggress here, the wave pushing away from them, very quickly get out of hand.
And they don't have really the wards to be able to scout it out. Just potentially the idea that, hey, Shun could be here. Wink doesn't have a flash. He does have Hex Flash, so it won't be a super snap engage, but it just looks like that Shun will settle for the bottom crab as Monki will show up mid lane, push off Scout, and you go take the top crab.
I guess he's like, okay, either he's going to be on this top side crab and it's fine, or I'm avoiding the hell out of Pantheon early on because I do not want to have to try to deal with his damage. Seeing Wink now try to look for something. There's Ward will finally spot out this Pantheon. They're going to try to make this dive. Okay.
I like the idea. He's fully stacked right now, so this spear won't get blocked, but it won't actually hit Taeyoon either. Now they're going to try to turn around on Shun, at least stun him up, get good damage, force him away. JDG can't help him out right now. It's a really good job.
I am very worried here. Monkey's going to try to do something. He could look for any kind of engagement. That's the steadfast presence going up. He's going to completely push all of JDG away. I think with the Empower W and the Empowered Comet Spear, there could have been a reality where Shun actually looks to aggress. There is no heal and no cleanse here from Taeyoon. So both junglers instead going to go for a recall. It's going to be Shun just a little bit quicker back out on the map.
I love what Monki did there. Vampire going to make sure this wave gets in as well. Really good stuff from the Team WE jungler. Giving as much space as you can to your Senna who needs to scale. That means when Pantheon's in the bot lane, that Karis is able to kind of just hang out and chill. This is exactly what you want.
Lane's going even though for WE. And like you're saying, pretty decent spot for WE. Just all Poppy needs to do, cover your lanes. You don't even have to be all that aggressive. And we're not seeing too much overfighting coming out from them. So solo laners just now TPing back to lanes. The fact that Xiaoxu just TP'd back up top lane and has to take a recall is a bit worrisome, especially for Cube. This is a matchup that you're pretty happy to take on early game. It's that mid-game part where Cassante gets a bit worrisome, especially once he hits level 6.
And you talked about how much you dislike the Renekton into this composition, so any time that Xiaoxu is not cultivating an early advantage or just getting gold for himself, really, is going to reduce his effectiveness when the fights matter for JDG.
I think it's just hard to play Renekton, right? There's a Poppy, there's a Braum, and Victor can be pretty problematic, especially with the builds that I was noting. Yes, they are low damage, but it does mean that Victor gets about like 3,500 HP on 2 items, which is really not fun to play against as a Renekton. Even though he does get access to things like Black Cleaver and Spear of Shojin now in the game. See if JDG can make any early action occur. Both junglers are going to see each other and spot each other in the river here. But should be WE to have first say on whatever objective they want. They brought Karis over. Vampire and Monki are crossing through this river. They're just kind of being like a roaming death squad, I guess.
Yeah, it feels a little weird, but again, as long as you're not putting yourself in positions to throw the game, it should be okay. This Monki takes a rough trade from Peyz there. But again, as long as the Senna and the Victor aren't disrupted, it's okay.
I would feel very confident as an AD carry if I'm allowed to Valkyrie forward versus a Poppy. That's a feel-good moment.
Yeah. We love
Yanni?
that. We love AD carries here.
What's that in Scout's inventory?
Oh, that's a Catalyst of the Aeons, my friend. And it looks like he's also making a play on the Karis here. They force the flash out, and they get him. First blood goes over to Shun.
What did we talk about minute and a half into this game? Making plays on side lanes. When Shun has his ultimate, catching Karis on a side lane is so pivotal for them. So that's a kill going over to Shun. He'll be able to recall, go towards his top side of the map, and that is flash away from this Victor. That is a massive win coming in from JDG. There's only a single kill. That's a wave that he's missing out on, and potentially Scout can make a move over to this top side.
And I want to see them attack him again. Once Shun's ultimate is up, and you see Karis on a side lane, go again.
It's only Monki went into the top side jungle, was able to steal the blue buff away. And without the ability to really get wave push early on, it is difficult to contest. So JDG will get all 3 of these first grubs. Need to see how the supports are going to be able to move out around the map. It's hard for Vampire to move, but he does have teleports. He's probably going to be back for this dragon. But for Wink, you have a Corki on your side. It is significantly easier for you to find a timer to walk around the map. And we can see that right now as he goes to cover his mid laner.
Vampire teleporting, making sure that that dragon goes over to Team WE. Not really a threat for JDG to do anything. They had already chosen their objective. Things are a-okay for them as Vampire and Monki just trolling around here in JDG's bot side. Jungle looking to snipe away as many camps as they can from Shun. Potentially cause a problem for Scout.
Monkey's doing fine though. I mean, he's gotten 2 camps already. Might even try to contest for a red buff. Him getting spotted here by Wink is a little problematic. You can kind of see that Shun is making his way over. Scout walking too far up though.
Big problem. He does have his flash available. Just the shockwave to put Vampire on the other side of him is good. Full dodge out of the Winter's Bite. Nice job there by Scout.
Wow. Using the ultimate to reposition Vampire behind him and then walk away with a phase rush. I thought that auto that was in midair, I think that was just Karis using the siphon power. So he's going to get the auto attack off and they don't get the stun. Great job from Scout to be able to survive that on the side lane and wasting a lot of WE's time.
And not only that, doesn't burn a summoner either. So if you try to make a play like that again, he does have his get out of jail potentially free card as long as he flashes properly. And he's going to go back and he's going to go pick up his Rod of Ages and head up to the top lane now.
Waiting for a moment here. It's going to be this Orianna matching into Cassante. You see the pings coming out. They want to see if they can force Cube. Maybe get a summoner spell aside from his teleport. Corky's in the area. Wink is now getting really deep vision. They want to control this. I don't know if they're playing for a jungle camp or they want to dive Cassante. I think this is risky.
Yeah, I do wonder if they have the damage for it with this wave coming in too. With Monki moving up to his camps, it's something that'll be easily foiled. We see Taeyoon and Vampire will have the inside track on Peyz if things get a little hairy. Looks like JDG, they're still hanging around, but they might have called the play off. We do see pings though. I think they still want this.
Look, Brahm's in the area, Poppy's in the area. JDG are, thankfully for Shun, he has no camp, so this doesn't actually mean all that much. And he does have the Sky's Ascend, so if there's a play on mid, they could try to snap on this. Monkey is in the area, and you kind of see that Karis is playing with a lot of respect. They're going to get these lanes swapped up here now. And Shun does have to go and answer for some of the camps he can do right here. He should be able to get out of this one.
They'll get tagged up. I'll take a little bit of damage, but nothing too major here. As Taeyoon cresting toward 30 stacks. 11 and a half minutes. Not terrible. Probably not be on perfect pace, but a fine enough pace, as he is one of the big anchors of this team, him and Karis on these champions. And so far for your Team WE, 12 minutes into the game, not super volatile. Yes, Karis did die, but it's still fine.
An exciting split just in general here for WE. They came into split 2, 0 expectations. Expected to be one of the bottom teams in Group Ascend. They finished 6th in the league, and then they go on a run in the lower bracket, getting all the way to 4th. An unexpected win there for WE, beating not only JDG, but also top esports in their wake.
Insane.
And coming into this split, while the expectations might be a little higher, considering what they were able to accomplish, I think when we looked at this team as a whole, we talk a lot about Monki, we talk a lot about Vampire, but Taeyoon always felt like a consistent rock in the AD carry position. So far to split 3, it's been a bit weak. This series, I think he's kind of hit or miss versus his opponent in Peyz. And gonna need to see him step it up, especially on this Senna, as a reliable person if they want to be able to take this series tonight.
Yeah, and if he gets back to that level, we could start thinking that, yeah, maybe Team WE is closer to that 4th place team than the team that we expected to be near the bottom. And, you know, I always wonder, you know, what if IG never really got it together, right? Does WE finish 3rd? I don't know. They're going to try to make this play onto Cube. They wanted to do it on the top side. It looks like they might have to settle for the bottom side. They are putting a lot of their focus onto the turret. Meanwhile, over on the top side, Xiaoxu is going to get dove. The tanking is coming through. The minion wave is pretty much gone. Shun and Scout taking a lot of damage as well. So Cube stays alive. And on the top side,
they need this to go now, though. I mean, Scout doesn't have teleport. They're not going to be able to answer. Senna's getting mid waves. You're going to give this Victor a ton of gold. What are we doing, JDG?
Cube just an escape artist. He just needs to find a way out. He does have the all-out available, trying to get away, force these guys off. Now Cube? He wants Wink. Wait a minute, Cube Good flash from Wink, and Cube will finally fall, but he wastes so much of JDG's time.
Oh my god, first turret does go over. It's Xiaoxu getting this TP, but remember, he just died. He gets knocked away from this wave. Karis and Monki just split this entire minion wave top lane. And in the mid lane, Taeyoon's doing the same thing. He's collecting gold. He's getting chip damage onto these structures. WE went out huge in that play as JDG try to get Cube behind, try to put this Cassante in the dirt, and only get a turret to show for it.
Really nice stuff. Cube, I thought for a second, man, he did burn Wing's flash, which is going to be really good news for Team WE. Not going to have those super snappy engages that we talk about how much Wink loves. But if he went 1 for 1 there, I would have said throw the whole game out, bro. It wouldn't have meant that much, but it just would have felt bad.
Yeah. All right, so Xiaoxu's going to continue to hit away at this turret. Again, 3 grubs does make it a lot easier for him. Probably just going to proxy this. You can see that JDG are moving multiple members up here. Rel's on the way. JDG Peyz is on the way.
I like it. Cube doesn't really have a way out. Good buffer, but he's going to push Wink closer to the turret. Shun with the spear from long distance through the back. And with a man down, that could be Herald.
Herald in trade for the dragon. WE will have 2 dragons. Victor gets all of this bottom lane wave. I'm worried here, Yanni, because the team that is scaling right now in WE get a lot of gold onto Victor and Senna. They get the first 2 dragons of the game. And JDG, for the most part, get the win more objectives. You only get to use 3 grubs when you are allowed to hit turrets. You only get to use a Herald in good spots if you are in a decent enough place in the game. So, getting more and more worried for this time, this clock that is ticking down here for JDG.
You're so right, Alk. I mean, every dragon, when you're the scaling team, represents plus 5 minutes that you get to play unless the game gets out of control. Now with this Rift Herald, JDG has to make a big play off of it. If they don't, this is a definite loss for them. Here we go. After that charge goes in, Shun all the way deep, but he falls and Karis is going to get credit for the kill. That is not what you want.
Fantastic punish there from Monki, knowing the mechanics behind getting inside the Rift Herald, it bouncing you out and getting the steadfast presence. A fantastic punish means that they grab that kill, they kill the Herald, and JDG, they want to overforce yet again. Oh my god, Scout, Jesus.
The sombrero means that they won't be able to get more than the turret, although Peyz wants a little bit more. Team WE will be able to walk out.
That wasn't a sombrero, that was a carousel. That, like, he threw his hat away. It wasn't even attached to him. Scout just very dryly misses the ultimate. And it comes with an overforce just to get mid lane turrets. So you look at the last 3 minutes of play. JDG, they got all of the outer tier 1s. They grabbed the Herald as well, and they grabbed themselves a kill. But what were WE able to get in this time? Chip damage onto 2 or 3 turrets, some more gold. It's an 1100 gold lead here for Karis on this Victor. And you got 2 dragons. In the short term, that'll suck, but with this game going late and, you know, the timer starting to tick down, you're happy with this state in the game. You have 2 items for your Victor, for crying out loud.
It's so good. I'm really proud of Team WE because, again, as we talked about, they have a tendency to fight for no reason sometimes, and in this particular game, they have done a phenomenal job of not dying needlessly.
That was your one commandment this game. WE, we're not trolling the early game. And so far, they've done a great job. They've fought when they've needed to. They've created pockets of pressure for their team. And now, another extended play onto the side lane here. Q's most likely going down.
Okay, stuns there. Wink just hovering off to the side. The all-out goes on to Shun, which means Cube is stuck here, and he's going to need to try to fight it out. Peyz is going to move up, and they will be able to take him down. Deaths on a side lane like that, though, have been what JDG have been able to pick up this game.
And it's really tough here for WE because anytime you are by yourself in a side lane, you always are going to be worrying about Shun having that ultimate. So with this, JDG, they get time to push out their lanes, and if WE want to overextend, if they want to try to punish Orianna or maybe go deep in this bottom lane jungle, suddenly Shun could pop up, there could be a numbers advantage, and we could see JDG take a fight win. So a lot of vision now being placed in this jungle. Monki denying the engage from Wink. That could have been his life or the flash there. And now it is a top lane tier 2 going down to half HP. Looking at the objectives, a minute before Otacon and a minute and a half before that dragon.
Scout using his shockwave there just for a bit of damage on Karis with no follow-up is a tool that JDG I think desperately wants to keep in the back pocket unless you're really going for a play. And over on the side of Shun here, we've only seen that one ultimate on the side lane. Obviously we saw the one go on the bottom lane for that dive attempt, but after that one play they made on Karis, haven't seen the same thing happen.
What objective are JDG going to play for? It's actually Otacon spawning in the top side here. Scout, you're by yourself.
All right, Shun and Wink trying to head over and make sure they can escort him out. They take the blast plane over the wall. Remember, there's no shockwave available. Team WE trying to get out, but Xiaoxu is looking to cut them off. Peyz is bringing up the rear as well, so they're ready to go. Pantheon ult getting channeled, and they're going to go fly in. Let's see. Oh, Shun!
Oh, no.
He didn't get knocked away. Monki mistimed it. Teleport coming in for the Cassante, but it's a little late. Monki frontlining. Taeyoon untouched, and he's trying to desperately kite back with the rest of his team. Karis is alive but limping. They're trying to keep Cube upright as he's looking to just cause a problem and get back to his team. He flashes away. The rocket's coming through. Peyz flashing forward, but he can't finish off Karis.
Dude, they don't have enough HP right now to go for this Otacon. Are they going to force it either way? Ping's coming out. Karis can recall and teleport. There are 2 minions. Look at those wards that are in the blue side jungle. Scout! He just killed Karis!
Oh
Karis
my
thought
god!
he was safe in the brush. Okay, Scout should be able to grab this turret. If not, there's another minion wave coming. Dragon will be going over to WE as they set themselves up on Soul Point here. A lot of these spells now gone from JDG. But holy hell, what an insane setup there up against WE.
And just a huge play by Scout because that pick means that the Otacon is 100% guaranteed. There's no teleport that would scare off the low health bars of JDG. But JDG, they will have to play this on a knife's edge because once this dragon goes to WE, if they sweep for Soul, especially Mountain Soul, that could be all she wrote.
Monki just barely not landing that Keeper's Verdict. Such a tough spot. And JDG, we get to look at this replay yet again. I mean, Xiaoxu on a flank. This repositioning with the ultimate. Such unlucky timing there from Monki. It is just barely not able to land. And I thought this fight was a little dicey. I mean, yes, Peyz is firing away and Xiaoxu gets into that backline, but there was no ultimate from Scout. Take a look at the picture-in-picture right now. Wink is dead. That slows down everything. And we get to take a look at what exactly happened to Karis. Don't tell me. All right, max range ultimate. I respect that from Scout, but
nice.
The Otacon is going to give them a little bit of experience. It's going to give them a little bit of adaptive force. And that gold lead for Karis is completely evaporated. Just 5-10 minutes ago, we were talking about 1100 for this victor over the Orianna, and now barely even here as these two mid laners going back and forth. Scout, obviously a legendary player of the LPL, but has had a struggling time in 2025, dealing with concerns about his potential legal battles at the same time, and honestly, his performance on the Rift has not been up to snuff.
And that's got to be, I don't want to get into it too much. That's got to be something that would weigh over anybody's head. And, I do hope that things really start to turn around for him as a player. This guy's an absolute legend, right? And when, as somebody who watches a lot of traditional sports, I've seen a lot of legends as they get older. Their bodies start to fail them a little bit. They just aren't the same guy they used to be. And it sucks just as bad when watching that with League of Legends players. And, a guy like Faker is somebody who's completely bucked that trend. But it does make me really sad when you start to see stuff like this happen. And you just keep holding out hope that it changes. And for Scout, he doesn't have a whole lot of time left to change our opinion on him in 2025.
Let's see, JDG now in a position to win this game. Only 4,000 gold up. Remember, WE 2.5 minutes before that Soul spawns. TP behind from Scout. Shun could use this ultimate.
I like this.
Diving in.
All right, let's see what Scout can do, but he gets bonked out of the fight. And now they're going to go all in on Wink. He gets knocked up. Do they have the damage? They definitely have the lockdown, and they finish him off. Karis gets his 4th kill of the game. All of the hopes of WE are riding on him.
And guess what? There's a dragon spawning in 2. There's a Baron in a minute, and there will be no teleport available for Scout. There will be no flash available for Shun coming into this next fight. The thing that JDG can look forward to is that Taeyoon will not have that cleanse, but a great rebuttal this time as Monki is able to get that Keeper's Verdict to send away the mid laner JDG. And that's going to be the lane assignments going back to where they were beforehand. Xiaoxu's going to go back to the bottom side of the map, push out these waves, and JDG need to posture around this Baron to stop their opponents.
All right, they're going to look to shut down Scout over here. Teleport coming in from Karis. They want to chase this man down, but it's going to be matched by Xiaoxu. So Team WE will back off.
Karis has got to be close to finishing that 3rd item. That's a Zhonya's in his inventory if he wants it. Already has the Seeker's Arm Guard ready to go if he needs to get it done. But it's got to be close to that 2nd item. Same thing with Poppy. Probably about to finish that now with the recall. It's an unending despair. What a close game here. Only 10 kills in 25 minutes. And WE, the objective focus is so good. But we've seen this before. We saw this in their series versus Weibo. 2 games in a row, they got to 3 Drakes, almost had the soul, but it all comes down, it crumbles around an engage from Monki. And have to avoid that happening here in this 3rd game, as neither of these teams have been able to find a series win so far in Split 3.
Poor individual execution has been what's kept them from souls. And they put it together so well in this game. If they just do it one more time, they will put themselves in a very, very good spot, one that is difficult to throw away. You can see Team WE in the river. They're looking to fade out, maybe for Xiaoxu, but Vampire is taking so much damage. He's down to half HP with 15 seconds left. Won't have that teleport available. Here comes the Dominus on the backside. Xiaoxu once in. Big shockwave. JDG. They found him. But can they get Karis? Karis trying to get away. And Xiaoxu will fall. And Karis will survive. And Scout has to deal with Cube off to the side. He'll be able to sidestep the knockup. And they're trying to turn it around. Peyz has plenty of damage. But Team WE, the 4th dragon, still eludes their grasp.
Monki is not going to recall yet. He wants to stay. Cube can recall and teleport. There are minions to go for if they want it. They're not going to even contest it. They're going to lose out on the soul
again
this time around. We said it in the Weibo series. That was the make or break point. Weibo got a single Drake back, and they came back into the game. Are WE going to move towards this Baron? I don't think they have quite enough damage. She's going to be Vampire teleporting back in so they can take control of this objective, get the vision down, and maybe force JDG's hand into an uncomfortable fight here.
All right, Wink and Scout, they just want to go in and deal some damage. They're going to go all in on Monki here. He's down to about half HP. Karis joins them, trying to get those lasers out, keep them away. But JDG force out the Team WE jungler.
Goes back to mid-wave. Controls topside jungle. JDG taking it slow here in this game number 3. Potential contest for a red buff. This is going to be very dicey. Wink could look for a flank. Cube is also going to enter from mid lane, so
hey, Wink from the side.
What the hell, Peyz?
Vampire. All right, Wink, wait, he's completely cut off. He's got to go over the wall. And as you said, Peyz just walked in. He's got no cleanse. Team WE will scurry away as pings go on the Baron.
They're going to go for it. I mean, you have enough damage. You have true damage coming in from this Corki. Pantheon does a hell of a lot to be able to execute this. They're on vision, however. Cube and Taeyoon now entering from mid lane. Karis is going to come in from the Raptor pit. And how much more can JDG get? It is half HP now, 8,000.
Oh,
no.
Shockwave. All right, Monki's low. He's going to go right to Xiaoxu. Xiaoxu takes him out. And now they're going to turn on the Vampire with 3 members of JDG. Cube trying to break things up in the pit, but the Baron is secured by JDG. Cube goes all out, but he can't get it done on the backside. Karis, Taeyoon, full HP. Vampire with nothing. And Team WE can only watch as JDG, draped in purple, will saunter away.
2 minutes and 40 seconds on that Dragon timer. almost in perfect alignment with the dragon spawning in 2.5, and WE have lost the plot. Yanni, this is looking dire. They're starting to spiral in this game. The last 3 minutes, we have watched them just walk around the map trying to stop JDG, but they walk straight into this choke. Not only with the Keeper's Verdict missing, just barely up against Scout, but you're walking into the setup of this Orianna. Wink alongside Xiaoxu now. The solo lanes of JDG catching out Monki. And Cube, I mean, good enough of an attempt. I hate to have it kind of end like that, but JDG now get the Baron. They're going to be able to push. They have 3 grubs. You have feats of strength as well to upgrade these boots. Yanni, it doesn't get any easier from here. Yes, WE have some scaling elements of their draft still available to them, but the execution, some of the problems that we've been seeing from them 2 series in a row now, potentially going to lose them a 3rd.
The siege is on the bot side. Alk, what would you do if you are Team WE? I think you just kind of let these structures go and you live to play for your scaling and you just lean into it more.
I mean, Senna still has to be able to stack 90 stacks at 30 minutes. It's not fantastic, but it'll have to do in this moment. You need to make a play on one side.
They're just going to go in. They're going to go in. Cube is on 2 members, dealing a ton of damage.
Good.
And they find the support, and they're going to find Scout too. The shockwave was not enough, but Monki a little far up. Peyz unable to close out kills, and Team WE stand their ground.
All right, but look at mid lane right now. Xiaoxu took a mid lane turret. He's going to get a 2nd inhibitor here. Can't exactly crash for the rest of the structures, but that is as good as it's going to get right now for Team WE. They got some kills there. They were able to slow down, and more importantly, they got Barons off of JDG. 30 seconds now. 22,000 gold gained by that Baron buff. Look at this replay. I was asking for them. You asked me what we wanted to do? Well, we need to make a play because Renekton's never joining this fight. So we need to make something happen. We cannot get bled out. I love that Karis was willing to step up, trust in Taeyoon, trust on the rest of this team. You can see that Arcane Storm getting to unprecedented size. WE now rushing down this mid lane, take control, catch the wave high. This is great. 20 seconds before this dragon. Clear this out. The Baron has just now fallen. You will be able to push for this. And even if Shun has the ultimate available to him, make JDG have to walk into Fog of War versus you.
I know that some did not want a 9th game, but are you not entertained? 31.5 minutes. Shun on a flank. Gonna get spotted out. Team WE. They're gonna look and set their sights on him. Can they catch him? They're gonna tag him. He's gonna flash away. He will survive. Poppy ultimate gonna stay in the back pocket, so it's gonna have that shorter cooldown. The dragon pick.
Look at the flank right now. Wink right now is controlling this. WE have given up the entire position around this this dragon, and Xiaoxu is waiting in the wings. Started attacking the blue buff just to get some rage.
Shockwave only lands on a Monki here. The Victor Laser's not doing a whole lot, though. It just feels like they're getting low.
Oh, no.
The ultimate knocks out, too. It's disaster. Scout's in trouble. He's got to run. Peyz is low. He gets flashed on. He's able to get out. But here we go. They're in. It's a 5v2. He went deep. All out is there. Taeyoon is alive. Taeyoon is alive. He's exhausted. He's autoing. He's sliced. He's diced. He's dead. And Xiaoxu, triple kill for the Renekton. The new top laner for JDG comes up huge.
And he comes all the way from Group Nirvana. RNG say thank you as JDG's newest top laner gets a triple kill and absolutely eradicates WE. There will be no chance for them to grab this Mountain Soul. There will be 40 seconds before Karis is alive. And with 3 grubs, JDG might just end this game.
The sleeping giant who was split pushing often. He was 1-3 and 3 before that fight. And he goes and he makes his mark. He couldn't do it on Ambessa, but he does it on Renekton. Down goes Monki. Down goes the last Nexus turret. And down goes Team WE. JDG get their first of the split.
And the revenge for last split's playoff bracket, knocking them out. Now it's early. They have a double round robin. We will see this matchup again. but JDG really pushing not only WE, but themselves here in this series. Some dicey moments early game there from WE, played low and slow. But once the Soul came into question, they kind of lost the plot a little bit, not able to properly secure it, being overly aggressive around certain members. And it is another heartbreaking loss here for Team WE.
And for Team WE fans, it's got to be that much worse. That was tough to watch. Again, the fourth dragon, I'm sorry, just the undoing of Team WE. They are still looking for it. They were not able to find it. And JDG, it just felt like they locked in. It felt like they knew what they had to do. Okay, by any means necessary, keep Team WE away. And they got it done.
Well, if WE were going to win in this first week against IG, Weibo, or JDG, I don't think they're finding it in week 2. Their next 2 matchups are Anyone's Legends and Top Esports. Good luck, brothers. It might be a 0-5 start to the split, which we saw them start 0-5 last time. I don't know if you can realistically bounce back from a 0-5 start when you have 14 best of 3s to play. That is nearly half of your season gone down the drain, and you're going to be playing up against FPX after that, and then you have 2 BLG games back-to-back to start the second round robin.
Oh,
I don't know what to tell WE.
I know what to tell Team WE. Congratulations, you are the new farm teams.
Yeah.
These guys are going to be put on farm, I think, after that one. That is a mental breaking loss, by the way. Like, that is... I don't know. Like, if Team WE come out and they at least look okay in their next series, which is going to take a miracle in of itself, I'll be truly impressed. Because this is something that this late in the season, especially with how playoffs went and the start that you have, that's like, damn, guys. I don't know, man. Like, that's going to be a very, very quiet room when they get back together.
WE got to be pretty sad